Atlantis Life Science for a better life.
I'm calling them golden heifers, although they are babies, because you can see they were born on 29th of October 2023.
Wow.
So they are less than a year old.
Okay.
They are around 10 months.
Okay.
And they are coming on heat surprisingly.
Wow.
With a weight of around 305,
Wow.
310.
Okay. Hello. Good morning. How are you?
To you. I'm fine. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Nyara.
I thank you very much. We appreciate.
Yes.
We are very much honored to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So the last time you were here, we saw a couple of very nice cows and calves. Maybe if you don't mind, we can go around and see how they're doing today.
Okay.
All right.
So we can start this way. Here we are feeding our cows with Nappier silage. I don't know whether you've ever heard about it.
I have heard of Nappier silage, and it's not a very common thing, but interesting to know how it is doing.
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
Initially, people used to say that Nappier can't work.
Yes.
Nappier, if you keep Nappier, it's going to rot.
Yes.
But it's so good. Though we are trying to add a bit of nutritional value on it.
Okay.
Because it is fermented.
Yes.
We've put live bacteria in it.
Wow. Okay.
To improve the nutritive value of it.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So and this we have a lot of it.
Okay.
So we do separate it.
Okay.
We have a bunker that has corn silage, purely corn silage.
Okay.
And Nappier silage.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to ask because many people normally ask questions about their silage having spoilages and they don't know how to go about it, especially on the concept of Nappier silage. So tell us more about this bacteria that you've incorporated and how you manage it to ensure that now the value is quite enhanced in terms of the nutritive value, and how do you normally go about it?
Okay, Nappier silage, you know, Nappier basically it has a lot of water in it.
Okay.
So when you are putting Nappier silage, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to, if you want to make tomorrow, make sure you cut today.
Okay.
You give time for wilting,
Okay.
but not drying, just wilt,
Okay.
because we still need that green color.
Okay.
And then when you come, you just chop,
Okay.
you compress, and what we do, because if you taste a sugar cane from Nappier, that stem is it doesn't have sugars. It's a yuckish thing. It is not sweet.
Okay.
So what we do when you make silage with it, it will not have, the bacteria will not have food because there is nothing sweet there, and bacteria like sweet things.
Okay.
So what you do, we put molasses, number one, to sweeten, and this molasses we don't sprinkle water. The diluted molasses. Remember, it has a lot of water, so we don't want to sprinkle water. So what we basically do, we mix bran and molasses to make like a meal, like a porridge meal, to sprinkle on top of that Nappier silage for the bacteria to have sweetener, for them to multiply and make fermentation. And then we use a live bacteria to speed up the fermentation called ecocyle or ecosilage. So we use it to sweeten and to make the fermentation faster, because now the bacteria, they have something to eat from the molasses that you used.
Interesting.
And the molasses is a source of energy, bran is a source of energy. So eventually that Nappier will be a bit nutritive compared to feeding it when it is just green like that.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
Yes.
There's this common issue in many farms where we find that there are spoilages, and you find that that silage is not usable by the cows. Have you ever experienced such a scenario? And maybe if you have, how did you improve, or what did you do to make it a little bit much better for the cows to actually be able to enjoy the silage and get something out of it?
Actually, we've never had any spoilages. I think the only secret is compressing. Make sure that you compact your silage fully. Now, if you are making maybe 100 tons, make sure after maybe 2 tons compact. If you are using a a drum or a roller. After every layer, maybe 1 ton or 2 tons, compact, you go compacting until you are done. And then if you are doing a flat rate, make sure you have a tractor compacting for you. Or if it is a pit, once it is filled, bring on a tractor on top, make it compact. Of course, clean tractor, you wash the tires and everything not to introduce harmful bacteria, and then you're good to go.
Excellent.
And make sure that your pit has a slope so that water does not sit on top of your silage.
Alright.
Make sure it has a slope, a slight slope.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. Then how about corn silage? From your experience, which one works best for you in this farm?
It is corn silage.
Okay.
This one, Nappier silage, we mainly use it for heifers and youngstock. But corn silage, we use it for milkers.
Okay.
And this is corn silage. It's already compacted, and here we have about 800,000 kilos.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Here. We have
Interesting.
around 800,000 kilos that is going to take us for the next 9 months
Wow.
for a number of 60 milking cows.
Okay.
Yes.
That is interesting. Because I understand that many farms, sometimes they have challenges being able to plan ahead, especially on matters feeding. So maybe how do you normally do that? Do you plan for 1 year, for 2 years, or how do you do it?
That's why I like planning it with 1 year.
Okay.
So that in between the year, if I get some cows calving down and my number increases, or heifers calving down and the number increases, I'll be on the safe side.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I get to understand that most of the challenges that many dairy farmers experience, of course, is how to be able to manage their fodder and to plan for the future.
Yeah.
Then they they end up getting shortages, especially when we have risks of changes in weather,
Yes.
climate changes and all that. So they find now their cows don't have enough. But it's quite interesting to understand that for this farm you have a very you have a very good plan where you plan for a year,
Yeah.
and then from there at least you are sure that the cows will have something to eat for the next 1 or so years.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
So here we have bulling heifers.
Okay.
I'm calling them bulling heifers, although they are babies, because
Okay.
you can see they were born on 29th of October 2023.
Wow.
So they are less than a year old.
Okay.
They are around 10 months.
Okay.
And they are coming on heat surprisingly,
Wow.
with a weight of around 305,
Wow.
310.
Okay.
But we are waiting to serve them when they are 1 year old.
Okay.
And I'm quite sure they will be about 340 kilos.
That is interesting. That you're talking about 12 months.
Yes.
That is
If they
interesting.
hit 12 months and they hit 340, I'm going to serve them with 13 months.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Then that means that when they're about 2 years old, already they have a calf.
We have a calf.
Wow. That is quite interesting.
Yes.
What is the secret? Because I think that is a very major challenge many farms experience. You find that their heifers take quite a long time. Sometimes even others go up to 2 years old. There is no sign of heat. There is no any, dalili ya kutaka mbegu. How do you manage it?
It's all about diet.
Okay.
If you fail on diet, you have failed on everything.
Okay.
So this calf, when she's born, I introduce water immediately.
Okay.
As you can see, there is a trough there
Okay.
filled with water, but they measure for themselves. We give it a drip stamp.
Okay.
But we introduce water since day one.
Okay.
Then the first week we introduce it 6 liters of colostrum.
Okay.
Then after 1 week, the second week, we introduce calf starter pencils,
Okay.
which we feed a handful. We start with a handful,
Okay.
and then we see how they are taking
Okay.
until we reach 1 kilo a day.
Okay.
And if they start diarrheaing, we find out why.
Okay.
But it is illegal in my farm
Yes.
to have a diarrheaing calf.
Okay.
My workers know that it is much illegal.
Yes.
It can cost you.
Okay.
Because diarrheaing is brought by hygiene. So we make sure that the hygiene, you can see them, the way
Oh,
they
yeah.
are clean.
Yeah.
We make sure that hygiene is key.
Yeah.
We feed water separately with a separate can.
Okay.
We feed starter pellets separately
Okay.
with a separate place,
Okay.
and milk
Okay.
separately.
I see.
That is how I get farmers telling me I mix pellets with milk.
Oh, yes.
Don't do it.
Yes.
You are killing that calf.
Absolutely.
The way that calf was created by God, the system of the body knows that I'm taking milk, I'm taking starter pellets.
Yes.
And then the third week, remember here we have, the second week we have starter pellets, we have water, and milk separately. Now we reduce from 6 to 4.
Okay.
And the more the pellets they are able to eat, the way the growth rate goes higher. So we train our calves to eat with, starting with 1 week.
Okay.
And the third week you'll find them they are eating hay.
Okay.
We introduce dry matter of boma rods. They love boma rods.
Okay.
And we give it ad lib.
Okay.
Tunawawekea mahali wanalala, tunaweka because they have cubicles when they are young.
Okay.
So in each cubicle there is hay hapo chini.
Alright.
So yeye anakula.
Okay.
So later on, that is when you start chopping na tunaipatia ikijua kukula vizuri.
Yes.
We chop and put it in a trough.
Okay.
And remember now this third week we have calf starter pellets.
Yes.
We have milk, we have water, and we have hay separately.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when they are 1 month, we start introducing mineral leak, which is the best, which suits us, or the one that we are using.
Okay.
And because we do free range or semi-zero grazing,
yes,
at 1.5 months I start deworming my calves. Because I'm exposing them.
Okay.
So I start deworming them, and I deworm after 1.5 months I start deworming.
Okay.
The second I am still continuing with my starter pellets, but now we start reducing milk. If they were doing 4, we go to 3.
Okay.
Then after the second month we go to 2.
Okay.
The 2.5 we go to 1, and then the last month we do 0.5. That calf won't get shock.
Okay.
When you are winning, she's not going to be shocked. That shock of like, I'm not taking maziwa, something is missing. And then immediately after 3 months, we introduce calf propensos to them. They are a bit larger particles than the calf starter pellets, and then they feed that until they are around 8 months. Then we introduce another meal we formulate for our heifers. Yes.
Well, we just talked about deworming. And I think also it's a major challenge in many farms. They don't have an idea of when to start deworming the calves, and then how frequently do they normally deworm. So maybe what is your experience from this farm?
Me deworming, I'll say it will depend with your mode of farming. Because I don't think, for you, if you're doing a zero grazing, you can do it after every 3 months.
Okay.
But for me, sometimes the only cow that I'm strict for 3 months, they are the milk cows, because I'll need to pour that milk to observe the withdrawal period. That one I observe every 3 months. But now for the other heifers, I deworm because of our mode of grazing. I do maybe 1.5 after 1.5 if I see this cow needs deworming because of the mode of grazing that we normally use. But for that person who is in zero grazing, his cows, they are not more exposed to worms compared to myself, so that one can go to 3 months. Yeah, and then you have to be keen. What do I need to deworm? Because farmers think that deworming is just deworming. You go and to your agrovet, you tell them, hey, you want a dewormer. You have to know whether you are doing tapeworm, liver fluke, all the stuff. So you have to be keen of what you are deworming. Yes.
Maybe just to ask, which dewormers do you normally use? Because I can see the calves are looking so nice, and the body condition score is good, the haircut is nice. Maybe what do you normally use in this particular farm?
There is one dewormer I loved so much from Atlantis, Malt Cure. Yeah, I've used Malt Cure for quite some time. Malt Cure is always my thing. I use it frequently. Yes.
That is quite interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to see also how now you are.
So this one on the other side is a different group with this, because this one they are 5-6 months. So on this side they are still under deworming, and the rearing is the same. So when they are reaching 10 months they'll be of the same class.
Oh, yes.
And there's something that I want to advise farmers is of separating.
Okay.
Rear your calves in groups,
Okay.
depending on how they were born.
Okay.
It reduces stress to them,
Yes.
and you're able to monitor the growth rates
Okay.
for them.
That is quite important, because also the
Yeah.
aspect of doing a bit of that monitoring is quite important, because you see we are looking at also the first, the age at first service.
Yeah.
And maybe I think, like you've said, if they're not well grouped, then you're going to have a challenge whereby maybe the older calves might be, doing some bit of bullying
Yeah, to the younger
to the younger calves. So it's a very, very important thing to all the time remember for farmers.
Yeah, so here we have our heifers. So here we also have 2 groups. There's one group here and there's another group there. So, and they are separated according to age.
Okay.
So the way you see them being kept is according to age.
Okay.
So all of them, they are the same age groups.
Okay.
That is how we separate them.
Okay.
On this side, I have 2 that have not been served, only 2. But on the other side, all of them, they are served.
Okay.
On this side, all of them, they are in-calf heifers, and anybody wants a heifer, they are for sale, all of them,
Okay.
this group. So, and their diet is not the same as the rest,
Okay.
or the ones that we had left there behind. This they are taking, this is the Nappier silage that we are feeding our cows. There's
Quite
something I
interesting.
want you to note, the color. We still have our green color there.
Okay.
It is not lost.
Absolutely.
Because of the live bacteria that we use.
Okay.
They maintain the green color. Remember, cows get protein from the green color.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
All right.
And they need that protein. It's essential to their growth.
The profitability of a farm normally comes from 2 main areas. That is sale of milk, and also from sale of in-calf heifers. So I can see now here is the milking process going on.
Yeah.
Maybe on average, how many liters do you get in a day?
Around 900, 950 liters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you normally sell to cooperatives? Do you normally sell to individuals?
Yeah,
How do you normally do
we
it?
do sell to cooperatives, Daily. Yeah, we sell to them, and we have few in our workers, basically our workers, now and feeding our cows.
Okay.
Yes.
And how about in-calf heifers?
For in-calf heifers, they are on sale. We started selling our in-calf heifers when they are over 4 months pregnant, when they are just in confirmed. If you want, you can get.
Around what age are they by the time that they're being, sold off as in-calf heifers?
The age of the in-calf heifers.
Yes.
From 18 months, 18 to 20 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you have given us a lot of information on how management is done on this farm and how you're able to actually run a very successful dairy farm. You can see we have pedigree cows that are actually doing well. You're able to achieve maximum milk production per day, per cow also. So now someone would be interested to understand if he needed all this information, how is he supposed to be able to get them? Maybe do you have any form of write-up that you've come up with?
Yeah, so thank you so much for the comment of that we've done. I also congratulate myself for achieving that. And all whatever that we've discussed here and many more, I have a book that I have written called J&J Farm Consultancy about managing a dairy cow. And all the information that we have talked about is contained in that book. And it has all the information, how you're going to rear your calf, how you're going to manage your milking cow, how you're going to wean your calf, how you're going to steam up. All that information is included there. And it goes for only 600 shillings. And I'm going to give out my number if you need more advice, if you need the book. I'm going to give out my number, which is 0708 072 075.
Atlantis Life Science for a better life.